Order in the court. Okay. All right, so what happens here is, since this is written as factor 1 and factor 2, you know that that is factor 1 times factor 2, which means you get x squared plus 6x plus 4x plus 24. And I gave you that little shortcut. The reason I didn't talk about that little shortcut here is because I actually wanted to expand it properly, because that's going to come back to help us explain how to do this properly. So this right here is factor 1, and that is factor 2. And when we multiply it together, of course, we get 6x squared minus 4x plus 3x minus 2, which gets me 6x squared minus x minus 2. And that is my expanded form. And up here, my expanded form ended up being x squared plus 10x plus 24. Now, the reason I doubly expanded these instead of just using a shortcut or doing it in my head is because I need to make a point. You need to notice something about that 6, that 2, and that 3. And then you need to notice something about that 2, and that 2, and that 1. What do you notice? 2 times 3 gets me 6, and 1 times 2 gets me 2. So in this easier version, when there's no number out front, I only need to worry about the factors of the last guy, right? But here, when I have a number out in front, I have to worry about 2 sets of factors, don't I? Now listen to me. There are at least 4 ways to factor something that looks like this. I'm going to write it out over here. If you already know what to do, if it's x squared plus some x plus some number. If it looks like that with no number there, then we need numbers that multiply to c and add to b, right? We already know that. But now we don't have no number there. Now we have a number there. And when we have that number there, the rules change. Okay? Now please look closely. Again, this is summer, so I'm not going to do everything I normally do here. But please notice that, yes, we cared about those factors. It was 6 and 4. But what number is really written there? Or should really be written there? 1. And doesn't 1 have the factors of 1 and 1? No. So we really are thinking about the factors there. We just don't write it. Everybody with me? Yes. All right. So now, again, there are 4 very reliable methods to factor something with a leading coefficient. I am going to show you, in my 20 years of teaching math, the one that most kids find the easiest because it does 2 things. It allows you to have a bit of a shortcut, which is what all of you are looking for, but it also reinforces the method you have to factor. Okay? Now, some of you will have seen what I'm about to do. Some of you will not have seen it, even though you've been taught how to factor this. you have probably been taught one of the other four methods, the other three methods. Please listen to me. Listen. I do not care what method you use, but I'm going to show you the method that I have found to be most successful in teaching 200 grade 10s every year for the past 20 years. Okay? If you don't want to use that method, use the method you already know. If the method I'm about to show you doesn't work for you, I will quite privately and quickly show you the other three, and you can make your mind up. If none of them work for you, I highly recommend going to the interweb and searching Factoring Trinomials with a leading coefficient, and you will get approximately 13 million pages. Somebody out of that 13 million will have a method for you. And they will probably have a method that isn't one of the four I know. If you get a method that isn't one of the four that I know, I am begging you to come and show it to me. Because when I was your age, I learned one method to do these. Then I started teaching math, and no kid understood it. So I had to go out and find the other three. I found them, and I have not found any more than these four. But if you do, tell me so I have another weapon in my math arsenal. Okay? Remember, I'm only going to show you one way to do this. So, here is how we do it. I'm going to use this because you already have seen the right answer. Okay? So I'm going to use that trinomial. So I'm going to start with 6x squared minus x minus 2. That's where we're going to start. Okay, I'm going to draw a line here because we're doing the lesson right now. Now, when I am expanding, I have to multiply, correct? We know what to do when there's no number there, right? But that number, we know when we expand, at some point, we have to multiply these first two numbers, don't we? So in this question, when I do have a number right there, and I can't GCF it, because this doesn't GCF, at some point, that number has to multiply with that number, doesn't it? Eventually. So we're going to get that out of the way right now by doing this. Step 1, take A and multiply it by C. So in this case, what is that? 6 times, it's not 2, negative 2. And that gets me negative 12, yes? Everybody agrees? I haven't left anybody behind, have I? No. I know that at some point 6 has to multiply with 2, right? Which means I must be looking for factors that multiply to negative 12 because of this math, correct? I also know that I need at some point to have an addition, right? At some point, I needed to add. So I need numbers that also will add to negative 1. Is everybody with me? Notice the only thing we've done differently is instead of using 2, we're using 6 times 2. Because this is not 1 anymore. This is 6 times bigger than 1. So I need to find factors of 6 times bigger than 2. Is everybody good? Okay. So I know that I need numbers that multiply to negative 12 and add to negative 1, right? And I know that I need step 3, write it out in the form that I know. The form I know is x plus a number and x plus or minus a number, correct? That's what we already know how to do. Everyone agrees? Just like up here, we know it's going to end up looking x plus something, right? We're comfortable with that form, yes? Okay. So now I know I need to multiply to negative 12 and add to negative 1. What are they? What are the factors of 12 that will get me to negative 1? Is it 1 and 12? 1 and 12 will get me to negative 1, FD. No. Is it 2 and 6? Is it 3 and 4? Yes. How do I get to negative 1? I must need positive 3 and negative 4. Does everyone agree to there? I have the numbers that multiply to 12. I have the numbers that add to negative 1, correct? Now, what did I do to know that I had to get to 12? Because the question has a 2. So how did I know I was working with 12? Simran. I multiplied by the leading coefficient, didn't I? Right? Now, factoring requires me to do some division, doesn't it? Have I done any division on this screen yet? No. So what do you think I need to make sure I do now? That division. And what do you think I need to divide by? Logically, what should I divide by? What did I multiply by? 6. So what should I divide by? 6. So I'm going to divide both of them by 6. Stay with me, it looks weird. What is 3 divided by 6? Step 4 is simplify. So what is 3 divided by 6? Really? How would you write that if you were in Mrs. Bad Crumble's class? It's a half. And what would you write there? 2/3. Excellent. Everyone agree? Now, do we ever want fractions here when we're doing our expansion? No. How do I get rid of, in algebra, of a divided by 2? Multiply by 2. So if I multiply this by 2, what's going to happen to the x? It's going to become 2x. What's going to happen to 1/2? It's going to become 1. How do I get rid of this 3? Times 3. So what's going to happen to x? 3x minus 2. And there is the final answer. There are 4 methods. This method seems complicated until you do it once or twice. Trust me, it is the easiest method to use. Do you have to use it? No. But even if you don't get it, wait a couple of questions and see if it starts to click for you before you run screaming to the front of the room and say, I need another method. Okay? Everybody with me? Okay. We're not going to do the first one because the numbers are so big. We're going to move on and do 2, 3, and 4, and then we'll come back and look at 1. So when I look at this, I should say to myself, self, I don't like something there. What is it about that question that makes you stop and have to think? Pardon me? Is it the 3, the 13, or the 10? It's the 3, right, David? Because if it was just x squared plus 13 at x minus 10, you would know I need factors that multiply to 10 and add to 13, correct? As soon as you see that, you know how to do it. But this isn't that. So I look at this and I see I don't like that 3. Mr. Myers taught us a couple of days ago how to get rid of that 3. You GCF it. Okay, GCF it. Can you? No. So you're stuck with that 3. So now you got to get rid of that 3. Right? So I know that I'm eventually going to end up in this form I like. But I don't need to multiply to 10, because if it was x squared minus 13x minus 10, then I would need to multiply to 10. But it's not x, it's 3x, isn't it? So if that x is 3 times bigger, what do I need to do to 10? Make it 3 times bigger. So I take 3 and I come over here and I need to multiply to what? It's not 10, it's 3 times bigger than 10, so it's negative 30. But I still need to add to what? Why is it negative 13, Simran? Pardon me? Because it's negative 13 right there. And did I hit that 13 with anything? So it stays 13. Everybody with me? Okay. What are the numbers? What are the numbers that will get me to negative 13 and multiply to 30? Are they 1 and 30? No. Are they 2 and 15? Yeah. Because 15 minus 2 is what? 13. So it's 2 and 15, isn't it? Okay. So I have S. Now I need negative 13. So is it plus 2 minus 15? Right. Negative 15. S plus 2. Now I've left a blank there for a reason. What did I do to know I had to go to 30? Multiplied by 3. Factoring requires division though, doesn't it? So have I done my division yet? So I better divide. Divide by 3, divide by 3. Are there any fractions that can be simplified? 15 over 3 is what? 5. So that's now 5, yes? Does that simplify? No, so how do I get rid of that 3? Times by 3, which means that 3 is going to just move to where? It's going to move up to the S, and I'm going to get 3S plus 2. Now, check it. Is S times 3S 3S squared? Yes or no? Excellent. Is negative 5 times negative 2 negative 10? So am I right? Yes. Is everybody starting to become okay? Remember, there are other methods, but like I say, at least work through the first 3 before you start asking about them, okay? Because trust me, you're not going to like them anymore. Well, you might, but very rarely do I find that. So let's look at this one. What don't I like there? I don't like 6, right? So I'm going to try to get rid of it. What should I always try first? GCF. Is there a GCF of 6, 21, and 9? What is it? 3. So I better get rid of that GCF first. 3, and that's going to leave me with 2x squared minus 7x plus 3, correct? Now, is there any way I can get rid of that 2 with a GCF? No. So now I got to start factoring. If it was normal factoring, I'd be looking for numbers that multiply to 3 and add to 7, yes? But I can't multiply to 3 because it's not normal factoring. This is 2 times bigger. So what does that 2 have to do? Multiply with the 3, which means I need to look for numbers that multiply to what? 6 and add to what? 7. Good job, Simran. I was just going to say 7, but you already stopped me and said negative 7. What are they? It's 6 and 1, isn't it? Negative 6 and negative 1, right? Can I forget about this 3? No. So I'm going to have x minus 6 and x minus 1, yes? But it's not really 6 and 1, because how did I get there? I multiplied by this 2, didn't I? So I got to remember what is my last step. I got to get rid of that 2, so I need to divide by 2. Then simplify. What's 6 divided by 2? 3. And what do I do with that 2? multiply it all by 2, which ends up moving that 2 to the front for a quick little shortcut, right? So I get 3, x minus 3, 2x minus 1. And then we check. Is x times 2x 2x squared? Yes? Okay. Is 3 times 1 positive 3? Okay. And then is 3 times 2 6? And is 3 times 3 9? So am I right? Yes. Does everyone see how to factor this way? Everybody? Okay. Now, I need an honest answer. If you've already done factoring in grade 10, were you shown something like this, or were you shown a completely different method? Completely different method. Okay? If you like your method, can you use it? Yes. If you like this, can you use it? Yes. I like this because it allows you to do this thing that you already know how to do. Right? Don't write down what I'm about to do. You probably learned, if you were doing this from another teacher, I bet you learned one of these 2 methods. You probably learned either this, where you make a box, and you put factors of 3 and factors of 10, and then you crisscross them, and then you have to add or subtract, and then you end up building this big box thing. Gerline, you've seen that? I personally don't like that because it's guessing, isn't it? 3 and 1 only has 2 factors, 3 and 1, right? But what if this first number was 12s squared? Then it could be 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. And then you're guessing all over the place. And then, okay, is the plus there? Is the minus there? I personally don't like it, but if you get it, use it. I don't dig it. That's just me. Okay? So use it if you want. How many of you were shown something that looks like this? It starts out very similar. You do 3 times 10. You need to multiply to negative 30 and add to negative 13. So you wrote it out like this. 3s squared plus 15s minus 2s minus 10. And then you put a group there and a group there. Then you GCF that. Out came 3s. And that left you with s plus 5. And out of here you took out a negative 2. And that gave you plus 2. All right, sorry, I lie. You took out a... I did that backwards. Sorry, that should have been negative 15 plus 2. And you took out 3 and you got negative 5. And then you took out a 2 and you got s minus 5. And then you had, there is s minus 5. That's one factor. And then you had 3s plus 2 for the other factor. Did any of you see that method? That's called decomposition. If you like it, use it. That's the way I personally learned when I was 15. I tried to teach that to students in 1998. They were like, and that was before I learned any other methods. So I left that. And the other method that people use is similar to that box method. You just factors of 2 and factors of 3 and factors of 10, and then you just play around with them until you get the right middle. The reason I don't like those is they're guessing, right? When you use the method I taught you, there's no guesswork, is there? It has to be 3 and 4 or 7 and 1. Okay? That's why I like it. But you can use whatever you want. Okay? So let's look at this next one. And again, I am going to use my method. If you wish to try something else, go ahead and try it. But I'm going to use my method, which is 8 times 5. So I need to multiply to what? Negative 40. And add to what? Negative 18. What is it? 20 and 2. Right? So I have p plus 2 over 8. And p minus 20 over 8. And then I simplify my fractions. That is 1/4. Correct? 2/8. Yes, Sydney? Which number, Sydney? You started with, could you go over and then you couldn't hear me. Okay. And 20 over 8 simplifies to 5 over 2, correct? The 4 moves up to the front, 4p plus 1. And the 2 moves up to the front, 2p minus 5. And then I check. Is 4 times 2, 8? 4 times 2, 8. Yes or no? Yes. And is 1 times negative 5, negative 5? Yep. If I have the two ends right, then the middle has to be right. Is everybody good? Sydney, what were you wanting to ask? Okay. Let's try it. Let's go back and look at number 1 now, because number 1 is scary because the numbers are big. Everybody is scared of number 1. But there's no need to be scared, because do looks matter in math class? Other than the looks of the fact that your teacher being stunningly gorgeous. Other than that, do looks matter? No, of course not. So you're going to follow the same rules. What do you do if there was no 20 there? I'll be looking for numbers that multiplied to 10, yes? But there is a 20 there. I need numbers that are 20 times bigger than 10. So I go over here and I need to multiply to 200 and add to 33. Is it 1 and 200? No, 1 and 200 doesn't add to 33. Is it 2 and 100? No. Is it 4 and 50? No. Is it 5 and 40? No. Is it 8 and 25? Yeah. Because 8 plus 25 is 33, right? So I must need B, and since it's plus plus, B plus 25, and B plus 8, correct? And I had to multiply by 20. Have I done any of my division? So I got to do my division now. I divide by 20, and I divide by 20. And then what do I do with those yucky fractions? Not yet. What do we always do with fractions? Simplify. 25 and 20 is 5 over 4, correct? Right? And 8 over 20 is 2 over 5, correct? Now where do those denominators go? To the front. So it's 4b plus 5 and 5b plus 2. And then I check. Is 4 times 5 20? Yeah. Is 5 times 2 10? Yeah. If the ends are right, is the middle right? Yeah. And how easy was that to factor? It's exactly what you already know how to do. Any problems? Okay. Let's look here. What should I do with that? Number 5. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Always GCF first, right, Fawaz? Is there a GCF there? 4. So if I take a 4 out, I end up with 4, 6h squared minus 5h minus 6. Now, what do I do, Harmeet? Now go. Yeah, which is what? So I got to multiply to negative 36 and add to what? Negative 5. What are they? Is it 1 and 36? 2 and 18? 3 and 12. 4 and 9. I need to get to negative 5. So is it 4 minus 9 or 9 minus 4? 4 minus 9. So plus 4 minus 9. And what do I have to do with that? By 6. Look at you guys. And then what do you do with those yucky fractions? Simplify. So 6/4 becomes 2/3. Look at you. 9/6 becomes 3/2. What do you do with the denominators? Bring them to the front. 3h plus 2. 2h minus 3. Then what do? Check. Is 3 times 2, 6? Yeah. Is 2 times negative 3, negative 6? Yeah. Are we right? Yeah. Was it difficult? No. Because math is easy. Yeah. Okay. I want to speak less for this question. Okay? So I'm going to take a moment, let you look at it, and not speak for a second. Number 6 at D, because we just did number 5. I was trying to mess with your head. It's going to jump up to number 8. No, because math makes sense. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then 6. So, who would like to volunteer the first step there? You may talk to your neighbor to make sure you are doing the right thing. But there are some neighbors that I wouldn't recommend talking to. For example, I wouldn't recommend Akash ask his neighbor right now. I wouldn't recommend that. I understand that. That's why you're not in trouble. I'm just saying Akash should not talk to his neighbor about this question. Because you've been lying down and not paying attention. Exactly. So what should I do? Who would like to offer up? Who would like to have a spine and say what we should do first? Amrit.
Okay, so that's 15 and 3 plus 6.
Okay.
6, right?
No, Amrit. Sydney, what should I do? I could multiply the 2 and the 6 if you're using my method. Do you have to? No, but if you wish. Sydney says I should multiply the 2 and the 6, which means what am I looking for? Numbers that multiply to what?
12.
And add to what?
13.
What are they? 12 and 1. So it's n plus 12 and n plus 1. Divided by what? 2. What's 12 divided by 2? 6. What do I do with that? I leave it because it's simplified. So what happens to the denominator?
Bless you.
Moves to the front. So I get n plus 6 and 2n plus 1. And then what do? Check. Is n times 2n squared? Yeah. Is 6 times 1 6? Yeah. If front's back and back's back, if front's right and back's right, is the middle right?
Yes.
Yeah. And look at how easy it was. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Easy breezy, beautiful Mr. Myers. Don't laugh. Sometimes dudes need makeup too. It's funny, I was in a play once. So you put on all your makeup, right, for the play. And I'm a dude, so I don't know how to get makeup off. So I'm in the room, and I'm scrubbing my face with soap and water. And of course it won't come off. I'm like, screw it, it's midnight, I'm going home. So I go home, and I still got makeup on my face. Forgetting that the next morning, I had a rugby game. To which I showed up, looking fabulous! With lovely eyeshadow and wonderful eyelashes. And no, not really.
Are you talking about me?
Looking fabulous? Of course I am. How did you know?
Just say you're talking about me.
Does anybody know that person? That was actually pretty awesome. That was wicked awesome. Anyway, I showed up looking fabulous.
But you're wiping your face instead of smudging.
It didn't smudge. Theater makeup is expensive. It does not come off.
You can use the expensive music and your makeup and it's still funny.
Theater makeup is not the makeup you put on your face regularly.
If you put it on your face regularly, you might have You should leave the makeup on.
I know that! Especially because it makes you wake up next morning, go to a rugby game covered in makeup. Anyways,
What color was your eyeshadow?
I got it all sorted out, and I figured it out for the next time, and I got some proper stuff to take it all off. My wife wasn't in the dressing room with us. There's a boy dressing room and a girl dressing room.
I mean, when you woke up in the morning.
No, my wife's not going to wake up in the morning. I had to go to Vancouver for rugby. It's 7 in the morning. My wife's like, she just goes to sleep.
Did you go to the washroom?
Nope.
Did you come home?
It was late. We went to bed.
Why couldn't you get it off?
But you still go to the washroom in the morning?
Yes.
Did you see your face?
No. I get up, I pee, I leave. I'm a boy.
You don't wash your hands?
You don't brush?
You don't brush?
Yeah, you don't brush.
No, when I'm going to rugby, I'm going to... Are you aware of how rugby is played? It's not soccer. You actually get dirty. You have to take a shower right after the game.
You don't brush your teeth in the morning because you're going to a game?
No.
You boys are gross.
Then I would have to get up extra early.
Do all boys do this?
No, probably not. But I was going to a rugby game, after which I was going to have a shower. I got a little kit with toothbrush and everything in it, so I cleaned myself up afterwards. My dentist, I do brush. Just not right when I wake up. Sometimes. Especially if I'm going to play rugby. Anyways, I had eyelash, or mascara, or makeup all over my face. How did this start?
You told us about your little play makeup.
No. There's a reason I did that.
No, you just had a funny story, didn't you? Yeah, you said you're fabulous.
No.
You said something. She said
Easy breezy beautiful. Yes, easy breezy. Yes, that's what it was. Easy breezy beautiful, Mr. Myers. Makeup, got it. We're all covered. Okay. So, again, by yourself. What do we start with? Right, I need to multiply to what, Fawaz? 12. And add to what? 8. What is it? T plus 6 over 3. T plus 2 over 3. Simplify. What's that? 2. What happens to that 3? No, I have told you many times. You were lying down. I know that. You're not in trouble, Amrit. You get so defensive. All I did was state a fact. You were lying down. It's not accusatory. You're not in trouble. Okay? You don't need, it's good to return. It doesn't matter. I'm just saying a fact. It's like saying you're wearing a maroon hoodie. It's just a truth. Stay cool. Okay? You're not in trouble. If you wish to sleep through my whole 200 hours of this course, you're welcome to sleep through it. But don't complain if you don't get that B you're looking for. Because I am not going to police you. You're in the 11th grade. You need to take care of yourself. It's the same reason I don't make you guys give me your phones when you're playing with them. It's your fault, not mine. Gurma. Pardon me? I don't care. I don't know how to make this clearer to you. You are here to get the grade that you will get from the effort you put in. If you come to this class to sleep, you will not get a good grade in math class because this is not sleep class. Okay? I don't know how to make this clearer to you. You're not babies. You must learn to take care of yourself. That is why I do not treat you like a kindergarten teacher treats you. I allow you to sit there and Instagram if you wish, because I don't care. It is your grade that you are screwing. I have video proof that I have taught the course. If you choose not to learn it, and you choose to spend your time napping, tweeting, Instagramming, Snapchatting, whatever, that's your problem. Just like if you don't eat breakfast, you're hungry later. It's not complicated. Okay? Okay. And what's this one? 3t plus 2. And then I check. T times 3t. Is that 3t squared? Excellent. 2 times 2, is that 4?
Yes.
Yeah. Now this one, what is it? So I got to multiply to what? And add to what? What is it? M plus 14 divided by 2, M plus 1 divided by 2. What now? 7. And where does that 2 go? To the front. M plus 7, 2M plus 1. Then I check. Yeah. Yeah. Turn the page over. Now wait a second.
Waiting a second.
Wait a second.
Waiting.
9 to 13 are normal. 14 I threw in an old school one to see if I could mess you up. 15, 16, and 18 are a bit tricky. And 19 is a bit tricky. Okay? But listen to me. I'm going to not do anything with this page right now. As a leader, you're going to do up to 13 on your own right now. Go. People caught the little trick in number 9 that I put in there to mess with your heads. It's t to the 4th. So I still need to multiply to 36, and I still need to add to 12. But it's t squared. And of course, what is it?
It's 3t squared plus 2.
What are the factors of 12 that get me to 36? Or factors of 36 that get me to 12? Plus 6 over 9. T squared plus 6 over 9. I simplify. Huh? Why, David? Okay. And then this one, it's multiply to -8 and add to -7, which is, of course, y plus 1 over 2 and y minus 8 over 2, 2y plus 1 and y minus 4. Huh? All squared. Yep. Let's see. What can I do? Well, I'm about to get to 11, did you say? Well, how do you think you would do it?
Did it and then try to solve it after I don't remember any.
Which means you did it wrong, right? So, go through it step by step. What's the first thing you did?
Times it by 6, I think.
So I need to multiply to what?
6. I dropped the phone.
18.
Yeah, it's 18.
Okay. And I need to add to what?
11.
Well, what are the factors of 18 that add? Okay. So it's n plus 2 and n plus 9. But then I got to divide by 6. Simplify. 1/3. Simplify. 3/2. 3n plus 1. 2n plus 3.
Okay, I get it now. I know where it's
So what is it? Pardon? N plus 8 over 4 and n minus 5 over 4. Simplify. N plus 2 and 4n minus 5, and then check. Yeah, I know, but it doesn't matter, does it? Does it matter what letter? And 13 multiply to what? Add to what? Negative 4. What is it? A minus 2 over 4. A minus 2 over 4. Simplify. 1/2. 1/2. 2a minus 1. 2a minus 1. And then check. Yeah? Yep. Oops. All right. Now, just to make sure you're still on your toes, how do you factor that? Y plus 7, y minus 7. Excellent. Just because you're on your toes, how do you factor that? I've given you 2 methods to do that. Could you factor this? You know how to factor that? What is it? A plus 9, A minus 9, right? Okay, so you know what to do if that's anything squared, right? Well, isn't that just something squared? So there you go. Left off right here. If you can solve that, then can't you take that A and write it right there? And then you get A minus 8A squared minus 81, which is A plus 9, A minus 9. But it's not A. What is it really? X minus 7. So it's X minus 7 plus 9. What's negative 7 plus 9? Plus 2. And it's X minus 7 minus 9. What's negative 7 minus 9? Negative 16. So that's done. So, if you can use this method here, can you use it here? Because isn't this just a factor squared and another factor squared? So isn't that just A minus B? And isn't the square root of A squared A? And isn't the square root of B squared B? And then it's A minus B, isn't it? What's A? 2x plus 3. 2x plus 3. Plus, what's B? What's 2x plus 4x? 6x. And what's 3 minus 7? Negative 4. What is 2x? Then I have to do 2x plus 3 minus 4x minus 7. What's 2 minus 4x? Negative 2x. And what's 3 minus minus 7? Positive 10. Now, is it done? Why not? Why? Because 2 fits into everything, right? So this becomes 2, 3x minus 2. And what's this become? You could take out a negative 2. X,
Plus 5.
I would make it minus 5. And now, what would you do with 2 and negative 2? Negative 4, 3x minus 2, x minus 5. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is just about the hardest thing I could give you. What?
So for question 16, that's the last one. I got the answer right. It's just that I don't have it in the order that I have the 3x minus 2x.
That's fine. Because, Ekdeep, what is the answer to 5 times 2? What is the answer to 2 times 5? Okay. The negatives and positives matter, but the whole term doesn't. Yeah. Okay. All right. So, all of you, if you're comfortable with that method, I put an easy one in here to make sure you were like, oh, phew, I still know how to do this. What's that one? X plus 2, x plus 6. Sweet. Then I went back to a hard one. What's ugly about 18? I don't like that and that. Do you? But what can I do with that? I can simplify it by making those, since they're the same binomial, can't I make them the same single letter? Yeah. So if I write a squared plus 8a plus 12, isn't that what we just factored right here? So it would be a plus 2 and a plus 6, wouldn't it? But a is 2x plus 7, correct? So what goes here instead of a? 2x plus 7 plus 2, which is? What is 2x plus 7 plus 2? 2x plus 9. And this one would be 2x plus 7 plus 6. What's 7 plus 6? Plus 13. And then I'm done. Everybody good? This is a very useful trick. A lot of people don't use it. A lot of people just say, well, look, it's the same, x squared, something squared. But if you actually write out the substitution, it becomes super duper easy, which is more proof of how learning one thing in math that looks useless can then help me out later on in math, which may very well help me out later on in life, because I can't see the future. So let's do this last one. Can we handle it? What should we do? You're going to make that a squared minus 4a minus 45. Now, do I have to use a? I could use anything, couldn't I? I could make it a lightning bolt. I could make it a fish. I could make it a dollar sign. I could make it Q, P, Z. It wouldn't matter, right? Can I factor that in my sleep? Yeah. What is it? It's got to do what? Multiply to negative 45 and add to what? Negative 4. So what is it? A plus 9 or plus 5? Plus 9? 9 minus 5 is negative 4? Plus 5 and a minus 9. Now, it's not a, what is it? 4x plus 3 plus 5. What's that? 4x plus 8. And it's not a minus 9, it's 4x plus 3 minus 9. What's 3 minus 9? 4x minus 6. And then I'm done. Now, if this was regular class, I would expand this all out, collect all my like terms, and prove to you that it works. But but it's not. It's summer school. But you shouldn't have any trouble believing me, because it's pretty easy to see when you actually write it all the way out. Yes? Everybody good? Right there. Okay. So you guys should do 139 right now.
Three more minutes.
Okay, take 3 more minutes. Alrighty. I should not have to say a word on this page until number 6. I should be able to sit here and write what one of you volunteers up until number 6. Number 6 has a bit of a trick to it. Okay, Amrit, what's number 1?
Bracket 5x plus 2 times.
5x plus 2 times x plus 1. Perfect. Who's doing number 2?
I'll do it.
Go ahead, Harmeet.
It's 2x plus 3, bracket, x plus 2.
Excellent. Who's doing number 3?
I got it.
Ekdeep.
6x minus 1 bracket x plus 3.
You guys don't need to say the brackets. I know where the brackets are. Who's doing 4? Okay, Amrit.
N minus 2.
Yep.
Bracket 3n plus 4.
Yep.
Yo.
Who's doing 5?
I got it.
Okay, Gurmuk.
Minus 1.
X minus 1.
2x minus
2x minus 1.
6x minus 1.
6x minus 1. Nice. Now, 6 causes trouble. Why? What? It's backwards, right? Normally we're used to the square being at the front. So there's a couple of things you can do. What I like to do is I like to put it in the order I'm comfortable with, which is negative 2y squared minus 7y plus 15, yes? Then I don't like that negative at the front, so I take it out. Negative 2y squared plus 7y minus 15, and then I solve it normally to get negative 2y minus 3 and y plus 5.
It's okay if the minus and plus were the opposite if you didn't take out the negative.
Except you better make sure that your 2y has a negative as well, because you needed a negative 2y. Back to normal for number 7. Number 7 also has a trick. What did you have to do first? Okay, go ahead, Josh. What's your answer?
5 bracket 3k minus 2 bracket times k, times bracket and k plus 1 bracket.
Yes. Absolutely correct. He remembered he had the GCF first, because 5, 5, 5. Okay, 8 has a trick. What's weird about 8? There's 2 variables, right? So in all the rest of this, there was no other variable out here. So it just ended with 2 times 1 to get your answer, right? But here I need a y. So it must end with something y, something y. So what is it? Who's doing 8 for me? Yash.
X minus 2y.
Yes.
Minus
2x minus y. Nicely done. Who's doing 9?
I'll do it.
Go ahead, Harmeet.
N minus 5m and then 2n plus 3n.
Solid. Who's doing 10?
I'll do it.
Oh, Harmeet, you're on fire. What is it?
2x minus 3.
Yep.
And then 3x minus 3.
Yep. Right there. Okay. If you haven't been paying attention, you're going to have done number 12 wrong. What do you got to do first? GCF, as always. So what is it? 6. And then 2s squared plus And then we fix that up to get what?
13s.
No.
Cubes.
S plus 5 and
What do you say?
2s plus 1. Nice. 12. 12.
Bracket 9x minus 10 times x plus 1.
Nice. 13. 13.
What question 13 is? No, I don't want to answer that one. I don't know if I
I got it.
Okay, Yash.
X times x minus 2 times 4 x plus 1.
Good job.
Thank you.
Nice. And 14?
I don't want to do this.
2d plus 5d times 4d plus 1d.
Yep.
I'll do the last one.
Okay.
It is a minus 3b and then 4a plus 3b.
Abso-smurfly correct.
Good job, Bernie.
Everybody can do basic factoring. Everybody seems to be able to handle the level of factoring that would get you a good solid B in grade 10. If you want the A, that's what that last page is for. There's a blank page there to discuss trickery. Trickery. Factoring trickery. Yes. If you have to. Let's see if I can put up a tricky type of factoring question to get you. What if I wrote this? No, I'll start with an easy one. What if I gave you this?
Bless you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. My God, oh my God.
Could you handle that?
Do you want us to simplify it or expand it?
I want you to factor. We're doing a factoring unit.
I'll just pull up my phone and
I'll pull up my phone and have this
so good for you.
So you get up.
Okay, who's got it?
Just wait, I'm almost there.
Okay, David, we'll wait.
I'm 5'11". He's like 5'6". I'm 5'11".
I'm 5'4". I'm 5'4".
I'm 5'9".
I'm 5'8".
I'm 5'11".
You don't be 5'6". I'm 5'6".
She's taller than you.
I'm the short one.
No, look, she's
How are you
taller.
5'6"?
Look.
He's lying. He's not 5'6". I'm 5'4".
Yeah,
How old are you?
5'11".
He's lying.
Yeah, I'm 5'11".
I'm 5'4". I'm 5'4".
You like 5'2".
I'm 5'4".
Okay, Fawaz, what would you do? So what is it? A plus 2 and A minus 9. Then what? And?
What the hell would a neurologist?
And you'd be done. Would you? Look close. Where, Shireen? 2x and 4, right? So 2x minus 7. What comes out of there? 2. What stayed in there? X plus 2. Now, look at that closely and see that there is nothing there that you don't know how to do. Yes, go. Okay. What else are you going to ask? Please look and recognize there that there is nothing that you don't know how to do. What? When it happens. You'll know the day before, like you always do. Everyone's cool? Okay. David, where are you not cool?
I just don't know what you're saying.
Which part, David?
Just the part overall that you get from that all of the formula, the whole entire.
Do you understand that?
No.
Well, do you understand that we changed that to A?
Yeah.
Okay, so we had A squared minus 7A minus 18. Can you factor that? Sure you can. It's A plus 2 and A minus 9.
How's it A plus 2 though?
Factor this, David.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so that's here. There's no A up here. It's 2x plus 2. So this is 2x plus 2 plus 2, which is 2x plus 4. Do you recognize that A is 2x plus 2?
Yeah.
And you recognize that this is A plus 2. So I have A is 2x plus 2, and then I'm adding 2 more. So I have 2x plus 4, because 2 plus 2 is 4. Okay. And in this one, A is 2x plus 2, but then I'm taking away 9. So I had 2x plus 2, but I'm taking away 9.
Oh, okay, now I get it.
Okay. Good? Across the board? And then what about here, David? Do you understand why I took a 2 out of there? Okay, good. All right, is everybody ready for another one?
Yes.
Okay. X squared plus 7x plus 12 squared minus 36. Look at that, talk with your neighbor, see if you can figure it out.
Yeah, I want to say, like, I don't want to be like a loser or something, right? I want my kids to like party and stuff, be cool, man. Like, honestly, I don't want to be like yo, if I didn't care, I wouldn't want to be a loser. I'd get that much kids to that reason. I'll get there with my kids. That's not Tony, all the cool, like, all experience. Your worship. Yeah, I'm gonna give my kids everything I don't have, I'm doing.
Everything I never know.
Yeah, we're home. Honestly, be honest. Whatever you did when you were kids, I want my kids to live a better life. Exactly. Legit, I'm going for as soon as they know, I'm in grade 5, I'm going to give my son what? When you get to L, I'm going to get in the second score, even though you're going to is that costume? I don't care. Yeah, I want my son to be good. I want my son to go to this.
Okay, what about that one? Pardon? Square everything? Square root everything, you mean? So would you do anything with this? You're going to leave it like that? Okay. So Fawaz says I take the square root of this, which is x squared plus 7x plus 12, and then I add what? 6. And then what do I do? Same thing again. but I subtract 6. Now what? Now what? Pardon me, Haley? Do what normally? You want to factor that? Okay. X plus 3, x plus 4, plus 6. And then what's happening on this next side? X plus 3, x plus 4, minus 6. Okay, then what could you do? If you're stuck, say you're stuck. It's okay. Okay, that's why we're doing this page. This is the tricky page. All right, so Haley wasn't done, so that she missed something. So what is another thing I could do here? What can I do with that? I could add them. So could I get x squared plus 7x plus 18? Okay. And what about that side? Plus 7x plus 6, right? Now, does that give you another direction to try? Where? Yeah, just factor. Can you factor that one? I need numbers that multiply to what and add to what? Multiply to 18 and add to 7. What are they? 2 and 9 will get me to positive 18 and positive 7. Six and 3 will get me to positive 9, not 7. I wrote the question to be tricky. Is that factorable? No. So that guy we got to leave alone. Is that guy factorable? Are there numbers that multiply to 6 and add to 7? What are they? 6 and 1. So that's x plus 6, x plus 1. Now that one's done. Again, is there anything there that you didn't know how to do? No. You know how to factor. Now, is there another way you could have done this? Could you have factored this right away? Could you have done this? X plus 3, x plus 4, all squared minus 36? And then that would have been x plus 3, x plus 4, plus 6. And this one would have been x plus 3, x plus 4, minus 6, yeah? Right? And then could you go further there? Is there a common factor to both of those? It's a little hard to read. I don't actually, what I want to do is, wait a second. I don't want to confuse the issue. Could everybody follow this thinking? Okay. So what's the point I'm trying to make? No matter what it looks like, what do? You just keep applying anything that will work of the three options, right? Now, sometimes you got to be on the lookout for stuff from before grade 10, right? Did we go over collecting like terms in grade 10? But should I have had to? Well, 12 plus 6, we know that's 18, right? 12 minus 6, we know that's 6. And we did do some like terms when we did expanding polynomials, yeah? So everybody should be okay with that, right? Yeah? Okay, what if I gave you one that looked like this? Oops. Could you handle that one?
Oh my God. Can you go to the bathroom?
Sure. Whatever.
Go. It's okay.
Okay. What can I do?
You could change it into a trinomial, like a squared plus 8a plus 12.
So what's that become, David?
It becomes a plus 6 brackets times by a plus 2 brackets.
Excellent. There's no a, so what is that?
4x plus 6 plus 6.
And?
4x plus 6 plus 2.
Which becomes?
4x plus 12.
Which becomes?
4x plus 8.
Which becomes?
4x. No, divided by 4 is what I did.
Yeah. So it becomes 4.
4x plus 3.
And?
Then 4 bracket x plus 2.
And 4 times 4?
8. I mean, no, 16. Right.
16, x plus 3, x plus 2. Nice! Anybody unhappy with that? Anybody couldn't follow David's thing? It got a little messy in there. I wrote it poorly. Is everyone okay? Nice, eh? Okay, what about this one? And it's the last one we're going to do. What? Yep. Yep. Okay, here we go. Last one. This one's really tricky. I haven't even shown you anything that looks like that. Yeah, the green one. See if you can do something with that.
I have a question about this one. When you added here, you added 6. Why did you add the 6 and not the 2?
Which 2?
You added a 6.
I did. 6 plus 2 is 8. You didn't add the 2.
Okay. What do you mean? I needed to add a 2 here.
Yeah.
And a 6. Okay. I added a 2 in both places. I don't know why. I feel like I needed to learn all of the basic stuff from yesterday before I started on this.
Absolutely, you did.
Okay.
What was some point before?
What? Yep. Yeah, guys, I haven't shown you anything that looks like that. So if you're a little stumped, that's okay. I just want to see if anybody can figure it out.
Wait, what else is it? What about your subject?
All the random guys who very
This guy.
Some teachers give marks for bringing these back. That really drives me up the wall. This isn't a bring back a sheet class. This is math class. Okay, real quick. This is something I didn't show you how to do, but I wanted to see if anybody would think to try it.
Can I try it?
Sure.
I just changed x cubed to x squared, just x. Is that possible?
This is okay.
Then I made negative 16 to 4. No, not possible.
Here's what you can do. Factor that. X squared minus 16 plus 6. Factor that. And that would be done. That would not be on your test. I just wanted to see if anybody would do something, try something funky. Never mind, Amrit.
I'll do it. If I get it right, 10 extra minutes.
I just did the question. Okay, the bell is about to ring. You have your interim reports. I do not know if the principals care if I make you bring them back or not. Here's the thing. You're going to go home, let your parents look at them if you want or not. And if you didn't want your parents to see it and I say you're going to bring it back tomorrow, you're going to fake the signature on it anyway.
Why would we do that?
Because.
Why would we do such a dirty thing?
So I'm going to say I want to see these back tomorrow signed.
Alright, man. Deal. I'll give a ground to sign it.
That's fine. I just want him back signed, so if I have to fail you, I don't get, I didn't know he was failing.
I'm not failing though.
No one is failing. But if you are close to it, have good days.
Maybe a little bit.
Hey, Hermie, you're going to go with us.
No. I'm not gonna
You're going with us.
Good gravy.
Have a good day, Mr. Myers.
You too, buddy. Sounds like a great time.
We're surprising my dad by helping him fill in all this before he comes home.